China don't want us to see this.
Scary new weapon that was a total secret until now.
What's the secret? Not anymore.
Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell, and I have some exciting news.
Okay.
I've been making a push to get to 2 million subscribers, and over the past few weeks, there's already been over 10,000 new subscribers. Just a
That's a lot of people, huh?
bit more to go. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, hit that
Please subscribe to my channel, not his channel. He doesn't need anymore. He's almost 2 million.
button now. When we get to 2 million, we'll do a special live stream for you where we'll do something we've never done before.
Tell the truth about China, maybe?
So again, hit that subscribe button. Now, on with the show.
Let's go.
So China is in the midst of one of the largest military buildups in history.
Yep.
And now
But it's
we've
still behind, like, United States.
just discovered a previously, until now, secret stealth warship. This new stealth corvette was recently spotted during sea trials. It's a groundbreaking new addition to the PLAN, the People's Liberation Army Navy. The new warship is supposedly a next-generation corvette, a successor to the existing Type 056 corvettes, which NATO refers to as the Jiangdao class. Now, there's some ongoing debate among some analysts as to whether this ship is actually built for the PLAN or was built for another country which purchased it.
Could it be?
Yep, this isn't the only type of corvette that insecure middle-aged guys like to buy and show off. In any case, one longtime observer of China's defense and airspace development said, this ship is an undesignated comprehensive test plan.
A random guy from Twitter is his source. And he says that it's always a secret. China didn't want you to see this. The ship is in the ocean. Like, there's many photos. How come this is a secret?
Platform. In other words, a vessel that can test and eventually possibly utilize
Also, May. And you are.
various kinds
Those
of
China
weapon
haters, they used to be better.
systems. Official details about the corvette remain scarce and could for some time to come. But leaked photos and reports are giving us some insight into how the ship could be
Look at
used.
photos. If you see on the right, bottom right, there's a symbol on the second photo on the bottom corner. That's Weibo. Weibo is a social media, a Chinese social media. Leaked photos in Chinese social media. Such a
to
joke.
advance Beijing's naval agenda. That includes the hull design of the ship, which some analysts say incorporate extensive measures to reduce radar, optical, acoustic, and infrared signatures, which, as the stealth part of the name might indicate, means it's much more difficult to detect.
Right?
It's harder to find than a decent explanation for why China is on the UN Human Rights Council. Just the fact that the CCP developed this ship goes a long way in showing how much more advanced its military technology sector has gotten over the past few decades. And given how Western powers have either cut defense spending or let it stagnate, we should all be worried.
Why?
And as an American, I don't know whether I should be impressed or angry that China actually got me to say not enough of the budget is going to the military. But the CCP has gone beyond just this one corvette.
Of course you're American, right? You are from the country that invaded China 130 years ago.
It's building another next-generation vessel, this time a massive amphibious assault ship. In terms of sheer numbers, over the years, China has surpassed the US to become the world's biggest navy. Now granted, many of these ships are much smaller and less capable than the ones in the US fleet. But despite its economic hurdles, China is winning against the US when it comes to shipbuilding. According to CSIS, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, China's new Type 076 vessel represents a substantial leap forward in the ability of the PLAN to project power further from China's shores. Power is my least favorite thing China projects, besides its insecurities.
He's from the country that's literally invading other countries, right? He's from the country that is bombing other countries every day for decades. But he's worried about China. Remind me where China invaded in the last, 40 years, 50 years? They didn't.
The ship is still under construction and is known as part of the Yulan class. The Yulan class is known as an LHA ship that stands for Landing Helicopter Assault. New satellite imagery of China's big Changxing Island shipbuilding base is giving defense analysts and the world a greater view into just how capable China's military-industrial complex now is compared to decades past. The LHA ship under construction will eventually be the largest amphibious assault ship in the world.
Damn.
Satellite imagery from July 4th shows that its flight deck spans approximately the equivalent of 3 U.S. football fields. The ship is significantly bigger than its US or Japanese counterparts. Like many other amphibious ships, the Type 076 will be capable of carrying 1,000 Marines along with drones, helicopters, and other aircraft. But because it's much bigger, it has even more capacity to carry more aircraft in its main hangar and has more space on its flight deck to launch aircraft.
Okay, we already
And just like that
understood, man.
Corvette we mentioned, it has several technological advances too. For one, it has a catapult. No, not that kind. This kind. A system for launching fixed-wing aircraft, such as drones and airplanes. At least it seems like it probably will, since it features a likely trench for a catapult system, which makes it unique among other amphibious assault ships. Fixed-wing aircraft are faster than helicopters, with a longer range and the ability to carry heavier payload weapons. So this could be a bad sign regarding its capabilities.
He's talking like China is using this kind of weapons to invade other countries, which China it doesn't, right? It's crazy.
That catapult will probably be similar to this electromagnetic aircraft launch system, which is used by Ford-class aircraft carriers in the US. Basically, it uses a gigantic magnet to hurl planes into the sky. So far, only China and the US have this technology. But wait, there's more. The satellite imagery also shows that the Type 076 will have an aircraft elevator on each side of the vessel to help lift aircraft from the internal hangar to the flight deck, a major advancement over the Type 075, which is another indication that it will be able to launch the aforementioned fixed-wing aircraft.
He's mentioning all these things as, wow, China is creating things that nobody has, it is so dangerous. But it's technology that other countries already have for decades.
But because the vessel also has a lack of elevators obstructing the runway, along with a wider flight deck and its particular catapult design, that means the PLAN might even be planning to make it capable of launching manned aircraft as well. This would make it basically its own class of warship, somewhere between an aircraft carrier and an LHA-class ship. It's also capable of assisting in amphibious assaults, with a floatable well deck on its stern allowing for launching amphibious vehicles to conduct ship-to-shore operations.
I'm impressed of how much information those guys can get it from one photo, satellite photo. It's crazy.
Makes you wonder who they're planning on attacking. If only there were some super obvious clue they aggressively leave every other week.
Yeah, that's true, right? China invaded Taiwan every other week.
Timeline for this ship's construction is unknown, although some analysts speculate it might be ready to be launched into the waters by early next year. Of course, that's assuming testing in the current pace of construction continues and is successful. And while China has a reputation for bad construction, that's because of corruption.
That just shows China has a bad reputation for constructions. Yeah, that the Great Wall is there for 2,000 years, but yeah, bad construction. And then he shows one short video of a building being imploded, right? It's crazy how much bias against China those guys have.
When the CCP wants a functional warship, it's a different matter. Of course, it'll take the CCP more time to build an entire fleet of these new corvettes and Type 076 vessels. But the West and its allies need to be vigilant and step up the pace of their own military buildup. While these ships are unlikely to fundamentally change the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific...
Of course, the colonizers have to be vigilant, of course. Otherwise, how they could be colonizers and imperialists?
It could make it more difficult for the U.S. and its partners in the region to maneuver. Luckily, the West is ramping up its weapons manufacturing and military awareness, particularly in light of the wars in Europe and the Middle East. A record number of NATO allies are now hitting their defense spending target during the war in Ukraine. NATO is also broadening its cooperation with allies in the Indo-Pacific.
NATO, National Alliance, Atlantic North Alliance, or whatever. I don't know. It's something regarding Atlantic North Atlantic Alliance Organization. I don't know. It's on the Atlantic, right? What they want why they want to have something here in the Indo-Pacific. Why?
Joint military drills between the US and its allies are also becoming more frequent in the Indo-Pacific. So it isn't as if the US is not
Wait, what did I do here?
aware of China's military buildup. The US is also pushing the Netherlands and
So
Japan.
you were saying that the United States is doing military exercise in the South China Sea. Oh, as far as I remember, the United States is very far away from the South China Sea. Why the United States is doing military exercise here?
to restrict more semiconductor making equipment to China.
Oh, and here we
which-
see a great example of the free market. United States is pushing two countries, Netherlands and Japan, to restrict more chip-making equipment to China. Free market, right?
which might get in the way of the CCP's military buildup. But the US is only now beginning to realize it's already at war with China. So China has a pretty devastating head start. Now, as I said at the beginning, China Uncensored
That's a
is
joke.
close to getting 2 million subscribers. But we have a major problem. I've heard from so many of you that YouTube has secretly unsubscribed you multiple times in some cases.
Yeah, it's China. China owns YouTube now.
Now, I can't say for sure why they're doing that. Maybe it's because Google has a lot on the line in China.
Yes, of
But
course.
this really
of
hurts.
course. China, this country that's been here for like 5,000 years, right, has a lot of things to worry about. For sure, they're worried about you. Xi Jinping cannot even sleep because he only think about you. Of course, you're American and you think you're special because of that.
Hurts the show. It means fewer people watch, which means fewer ads, which means we're running out of money to make the show.
So don't give him money. Subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and I will keep posting every week.